Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
And welcome to the Home Repairs and Solutions Show, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air, your authorized Amana dealer. The host for Home Repairs and Solutions is Mary Pearson. Now here's Mary.
Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Mary. How are you today?
I'm good. You certainly are in a cheery mood.
I'm always in a cheery mood.
Singing with the song and everything. Too bad y'all didn't hear all that, but yeah, he was singing right along.
Everybody in the audience is singing with that song. Everybody in their cars driving down the road
That's
is
true. It's a
singing
catchy song.
It is very catchy. Yes.
Yep. And we don't have Mark again today. He's at Starvey Creek this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to him yesterday. He's been feeling a lot better, and he was headed to Starvey Creek. So we hope he has a great weekend down there, but he'll be back next Friday. So that would be good.
Very good, yes.
I like it better when he's here with me, but, you know, that can't always happen. So we'll just do the best we can. Mm-hmm. I do want to give out our phone numbers before we get started here today because we have a great guest with us. She's been on the show before. She's one of my favorite guests to have on the show because she has a really fun job. And I would imagine if you have any fur kids that live at your house, and we can tell you what that is if you don't know, you might have some questions or you might want to talk to Amanda. And you can do that by giving us a call here at 862-9977 or 1-800-375-0056. Mark's not here, so you can't text me a question today because I can't run a phone and talk at the same time. So anyway, you'll just have to call in today, which is fine. We'd love to talk to you. But my special guest today is Amanda Brown with 417 Pet Sitting. And welcome to the show, Amanda.
Thanks, Mary. Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
I think you must have one of the most fun jobs in the planet.
I would have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah. I mean, what else would you rather do than play with pets all day? I mean, you probably have the best blood pressure of anybody I know.
It's true. It's true. Like, I am greeted at the door with wagging tails and puppy kisses and purring kittens and happy horses, and it's really a pretty good gig. I really can't complain.
I know. You get there and they're just happy to see you.
Exactly.
You know, not every business, when you get there, they're happy to see you.
That is very true. That is very true. Like, no one is ever yelling at me, "Oh my gosh, it's hot in here because my AC is out," or "Oh my gosh, I'm freezing to death, my heater is out."
That's true.
Like,
we get those calls.
No one ever yells at me because it's all dogs and cats and horses and cows and chickens. And
they're just glad you're there.
I have food in my hands generally, or treats. So
there
really,
you go.
There's just no way to go wrong.
You know, if someone came to my house with treats, I'd be happy to see them too.
See? There you go. There you go. It's a good gig.
Well, you have some great news today. We were talking before the show, and you're about to come up on an anniversary.
I am. October 1st, officially on paper, 417 Pet Sitting LLC is 4 years old.
That is wonderful. Congratulations. Congratulations.
You.
You know, starting a business and having it succeed, they say if you can make it the first 5 years, you've got a pretty good shot at it. And so I'd say you're well on your way to being successful for a long time.
I hope so.
Congratulations with that. That's
Thank you.
great. I can't remember when I had you on the first time. We've been on a little over 2 years, but you were kind of still growing your business a little bit, and you were still, kind of, and I imagine you still are. I mean, business, you're either growing or you're not.
Right.
You know, you can't stand still in business. You can't stand still in life either.
Right.
So
is that why my hips are growing?
I don't know. I think that's a different show, Amanda.
Business is growing. You know, it's. And Lord knows I don't stand still. Good grief.
No, you don't. You're just about everywhere. But yeah, congratulations on that. That's wonderful. Now, I think I asked you this one other time, but I can't remember what you told me. How in the world did you get started doing pet sitting? I mean, I don't know that that's something that someone aspires to when they're like 16 or 20 or I don't know. How did you get started?
I was actually at a coffee shop and a very, very sweet lady literally just said, "You like dogs? I got a promotion at work. I can't come home on Fridays anymore to walk my dogs. Would you care to take care of Cleo and Nina?" And I started walking 2 Great Danes on Fridays, and somehow or another, it snowballed.
Did you know this lady?
I saw her every morning in the coffee shop.
Oh, but so you weren't like
No.
good friends or anything. You were
No.
just kind of acquaintances and
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, she ordered Earl Grey tea, and I was usually drinking a latte.
There you go. There you go.
It was one of those random things. It was like here's your sign.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
then in 2007, I quit my quote-unquote job
Mm-hmm.
and started pet sitting full-time. In 2009, I officially LLC'd the company and made it a legal entity and hired my first sitter. And it's just kind of been growing and growing and growing by there. I've got 6 girls that work for me now that are absolutely amazing. I think I have the best team now that I've had in all 4 years that we've been together.
What a
So,
great story.
thanks.
What a great story. So from now on, if you're sitting around in a coffee shop, talk to everybody. They might have a great career path for you that you haven't even thought of.
Exactly.
I think that is just a great story. I love that story.
Thanks.
And I know that we have new listeners all the time, so I wanted to get out there to some listeners who maybe hadn't heard it the last time we talked about it. So you started walking these Great Danes,
Mm-hmm.
and then what did you? I mean, was it just word of mouth mostly?
Yeah, the gal that got this whole thing started, she really is an amazing woman. She was the founder of Great Dane Rescue of the Ozarks.
Okay.
And so I was walking her dogs, and she traveled a lot for work. And so I would take care of her kids while she was on vacation or traveling for work. And every time that we had a dog come into rescue, she would tell the foster parents about me and their forever homes about
okay.
me. And so it just kind of snowballed from there. I mean, it started out all Great Danes. And then, it was, oh, well, we've got these larger dogs, or, oh, we've got pit bulls, or like when BSL hit, oh my goodness, like all of the bully breeds came out of the woodwork because all these people couldn't travel because they were tied to their house because of this ignorant legislation. And
Yeah.
so, we started taking care of, the pit bulls, and then it was the German Shepherds, and then it was the Dobermans. And so all of these quote unquote bully breeds. And so really it started out with Great Danes and bully breeds and just kind of took off and grew from there. And if someone had told me when I graduated college that this is what I was going to be doing 10 years from now, I would have laughed at them in the face because I had big plans. I was going to just run the world. And it's been amazing. Like, it really has just been amazing.
Well, I think that is just the neatest story. That's one of the neatest stories I've ever heard of someone getting into a business. It really is.
It really did just fall in my lap.
It did.
It
absolutely
clearly
did.
meant to be.
It absolutely did. And now you have 6 employees, and
Independent contractors for all the accountants listening.
yes, I knew that. I'm sorry. I have employees. She has independent contractors. That's true because they kind of set their own deals or whatever and take care of the animals. So now you've gone from taking care of dogs to just about anything. I mean, is there any animal that you will not take care of for someone?
So long as they are not quote unquote vicious, like if it's a legitimate dog that has temperament problems that is known to attack, then we won't. But
Sure.
No, I was out on a farm taking care of cows and sheep and chickens and horses and dogs and cats just last week. So I mean, we really do. Everyone that's on staff has their own little niche and their own little thing that they like. That and not everyone that is part of the company is in Springfield. I mean,
Sure.
there's a gal in Sparta, there's a gal in Ozark, there's a
Right.
gal in Clever, several here in town, one out north towards Stratford. So we can not only can we cover all animals, but we can cover pretty much the entire 417 area code.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And that is one thing. I mean, I have a little Bichon, and his name is Tucker, and I love him to pieces. But they are a little bit restrictive.
Yes.
If I want to go somewhere for a weekend or whatever. Fortunately, my children live here, so I'm like, hey, which one of you wants to take care of Tucker?
Right.
And so they do that. But not everyone has that available to them, and not everyone wants to put them in a kennel.
Right.
I did that a couple times, and I would just cry when I left him there, and he did fine there, but that just wasn't my idea of a
Right.
happy place for him. Like I said, even though he probably did better than I thought he did, I was the one who
Yeah.
didn't want to do that. But if they can stay at home and you can have someone that can come and play with them, they're happier in their home.
Yeah. Well,
So-
that, and if you've seen my TV commercials, it starts with a whole bunch of children that are playing on the playground, and then it pans into sweet little Carlos locked in a cage. And it's like, you wouldn't put your children in a cage for a week while you're on
Sure.
vacation. Why would you do that to your fur kids?
Yeah.
And not only can we go over to the house just while you're stuck at work, a lot of our clients are teachers, professors, doctors, nurses, the people that are, they're gone for 12 hours at a time.
Yes.
And so not only can we go over middle of the day to make sure they get a nice long walk and get a potty break, but we can do morning and evening feeding visits. We can do medicine. We can also do in-home overnights where we actually spend the night in the house and we're there from, 7 o'clock at night until 7 o'clock in the morning. It's really more about treating your pets the way that you would want yourself or your kids to be treated, because it's not fair to lock them in a kennel for a week. It's just not. And the health benefits of staying at home and the reduced stress, not to mention,
Sure.
Your mail's brought up, your house is taken care of. All my girls are licensed, bonded, and insured, so you're protected as far as that goes.
See, I think that is a very personal service. And I think it's kind of difficult to find that type of personal service anymore. I think, it's hard to find someone that has that kind of flexibility,
Right.
that you can trust, that can come in and, like you said, not only is your pet being taken care of, but your whole house is being looked after.
Right.
Someone's there. It's not vacant where, if you have people do these drive-by, see if someone's there or not
Yep.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So all of your possessions are going to be safer and everything else.
Especially around the holidays.
Yes.
A lot of times, and it's been in several consumer reports, burglars look for the penny power at the end of your driveway that doesn't have tire tracks on it. I mean, clearly,
Yes.
if you've driven over it 8 times because you just don't care to look at it, there's going to be tire tracks on it.
Right.
But if it's sitting there perfect and hasn't been touched, clearly you're not home. A pile of newspapers at the bottom of the driveway. I can't tell you how many times I will see a pile. I'll be walking a dog in upper end income neighborhoods, walking dogs, and I'll see 3 or 4 newspapers at the bottom of the driveway, and I'm like, okay. And so I stop and I pick up the newspapers and I take and put them on the front porch. That's the number one thing that burglars look for. Or
Yes.
trash cans that are put out on Thursday whenever your trash doesn't come until Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, these are like ding, 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 huge
Red flags.
huge red flags.
Yep, they are. They are. My granddaughter, my youngest granddaughter, she is quite the reptile lover.
Yeah.
And she just turned 6 in August, and she was so excited. She got a Chinese water dragon.
Those and chinchillas are all the rage. The water dragons and the larger lizards, those are the thing right now. And then chinchillas. It
Okay.
used to be like hamster, like when I was
Yes.
a kid, it was hamsters, and then it was gerbils. And then like when my little sister was a kid, it was ferrets. Well, now, and then snakes. Well, now the big thing is these Chinese water dragons and bearded dragons and
She loves this
chinchilla.
thing. Now, my question to her was, can't they get fairly large?
Yes.
I thought so. And so I'm talking to her. I'm like, okay, Allie, do you know that they can get pretty big? What are you going to do when it outgrows its cage? You know what her answer to me was?
Buy a bigger cage.
No. Well, Granny, I'll just let him play in my room.
I love it.
And I'm thinking, wonder what Mama's going to think about that.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Well,
You
a
can
lot
just
of
play in my room.
a lot of people, the ferrets would get loose and just run throughout the house, and they are a smelly, smelly, smelly little critter.
They are. Now, we had an albino ferret at one time. And his name was Bilbo, and he was given to us by a friend of mine who couldn't keep him anymore. And they are really interesting, kind of fun pets.
Yeah.
And he would, we would kind of let him run around the house and stuff, and then I would fill up the bathtub and let him swim. He liked water, and he
Yeah.
would swim and play and everything. But then we had a cage because they're kind of like nocturnal. So I didn't want him running around the house at night because we all
Right.
had to sleep.
Right. Exactly.
So my husband built him a really neat cage, and we lived in Texas at the time, so
Yeah.
we didn't have any bad weather issues or cold weather too much or anything. And so we built him a really nice cage, and so we'd put him that in the evening, went to bed. But he was a really interesting pet.
Yeah.
He sure was. And would I have another one? No, probably not at this point. I wouldn't. But he was a lot of fun. They do have a little bit of a musky odor to them.
Yep.
But I would let him play and swim pretty regular, so that kind of kept that under control where it wasn't real strong.
Very cool.
But yeah, he was a fun animal. And then when my children were growing up, we had like a little mini zoo, and we had the whole neighborhood. We were the hangout for all the neighborhood kids.
Yeah.
And at one time, we had a canary, we had parakeets, we had 2 dogs, a lop-eared rabbit, a ferret, a fish tank. And I think that's the most I had at one time. And so I took care of all these animals, and we handled them a lot. So they were real tame and friendly and everything. And so, you know, all the little neighborhood kids would want to come over and pet the rabbit or play with the dogs or feed the fish or whatever we had going on.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think it's important if you have children to raise them with animals. It teaches them so much. It really does.
Well, absolutely. Not only does it provide them a companion, but it teaches them responsibility.
It does.
And they learn about chores. They learn about responsibility. They learn about the
They
cycle
learn
of life.
kindness.
Yes.
They-
Nothing on earth will love you more than a dog. A dog will love you more
Yes.
than it will love itself.
Yes, they certainly will. And so I'm real happy that, you know, my all of my grandchildren love animals and stuff, but that Chinese water dragon thing just about was like, I don't know if I would want one of those.
Brian from Springfield just texted and wants to know if we really do take care of reptiles. Yes, we can take care of snakes and lizards and all sorts of other reptiles.
There you go. There you go. Do you have anybody around here that has any exotic pets like cats or anything like that? You know, wild cats or...
No.
Can you legally have those in Missouri now?
You know, it's funny. I was actually at the Tiger Sanctuary a couple weeks ago for a luncheon, and they are working on some new legislation to protect wild cats. A lot more people than you know have wild cats as quote unquote domestic pets. And they were working on some new legislation to crack down on that because apparently it's a lot easier than you think to have a large cat as a pet.
But
I
you
do
could-
not have any clients that have any, and I would probably call the Tiger Sanctuary and let them know immediately.
You
if
really
someone called
can't
me.
tame those type of cats, can you? I mean,
No.
they're just instinctively wild. They
Yeah.
haven't been tamed like our house cats or whatever.
Well, and they were even talking about, like, when I was at the Tiger Sanctuary, they talked about how, yes, they are a little bit more gentle, but they are wild animals. And even
they're
the
big.
ones that were born in captivity, I mean, you still have to be careful with them. So,
Yeah, I would think so. And I would think you would have to have the right environment for
Yep.
them. They take a lot of space and a lot of room and stuff. And
Yep.
I think the cats are gorgeous, the lions and the tigers and all that. They're beautiful, beautiful animals.
right.
But it's not something that I would ever try to maintain as a pet at my home or
Right.
anything like that.
Right. There's a time and a place, and they definitely have their place. And I think that if they are in captivity, be it at a sanctuary or a zoo, there's a proper way to treat them.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to keep one in your home, regardless of the condition of your home or the runs that you can build in your backyard, there's just a time and a place. And your backyard is not
No,
it.
you know, there was an instance when we lived in Texas, and it's been many, many years ago now. But actually, my husband was doing an air conditioning check for a homeowner there, and it actually made the news, the national news. So our parents heard about it down here. Little did they know at the time what was going on, and that we were so involved. But there was a gentleman there who had a full-grown male lion in his backyard
Oh my goodness.
with a 4-foot cyclone fence.
Seriously?
With just a 4 chain link fence, 4 foot tall, full grown male lion. Forgot to tell Paul that this lion was in the backyard.
How do you forget to tell someone that you have a lion in your backyard?
That's what my husband wanted to know. But anyway, so Paul's working on this air conditioner, and Paul didn't really see him because Paul was in backyards all the time, and he didn't look for full-grown male lions. And there was like a grove of trees in the back of the yard. He had a fairly big backyard, and the lion was laying down in there under the shade. Well, as Paul's working on the air conditioner, lions they can be very quiet.
Yeah.
And so
That's kind of how they stalk their prey.
Yeah, exactly. And so Paul is working on this air conditioning unit, and this full-grown male lion, pretty soon Paul feels like there's something over his shoulder, and he turns around and looks, and he's face to face with a full-grown male lion. And of course, it scared the crap out of him. And he started yelling for the owner, the guy's name, and he was afraid to move because if he moved or something, he didn't know if the lion was going to pounce on him or what.
Right.
And so the owner came around and he's like, yes. And he goes, did you know about this? And the guy's like, oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you about whatever the lion's name was. And Paul's like, really? You forgot to tell me? Okay. Well, then it got to be a pretty big deal. And he ended up having to get rid of the lion because he lived in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
They had children and everything. And so the neighbors started complaining about, because this lion would roar occasionally. So then it was obvious that he had a lion.
Right.
And it got to be a really big deal. And the guy tried to fight it and all that. But they finally, because he didn't have the proper place for it. He didn't have the proper fence to keep it in. He didn't have, he had a big enough yard, but it just was
It
safety.
just wasn't properly contained.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was a safety issue because you had kids riding bicycles and all that. And his argument was, well, I feed him really well, and he'll only attack if he's hungry. Excuse me. I don't think so. So anyway, he finally had to get rid of the lion. But yeah, that was one of my husband's experiences with a wild cat in someone's backyard. So yeah, if you're going to do that, you probably need to get the proper permits and have the proper place for them and all that. Otherwise, you're going to be in big trouble.
I would have to agree with you on that.
You would probably be in big trouble. So do we need to take a break? Okay, I'm having the we need to take a break signal. So we're going to take a short break, but we'll be back with more home repairs and solutions.
Now if you've got a problem and you don't know what to do, your siding's going bad and you're plagued with green mildew. Well, your faucets, they all drip and your sinks are all clogged up too. Well, there's no need to worry. I'll tell you what you can do. Just call Home Repairs and Solutions. Home Repairs and Solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house. They'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home Repairs and Solutions.
Here's news on the Ozarks News Network. It's been 1 month since Gregory Dahm was shot and killed in South Springfield, and the case remains unsolved. The shooting happened August 18th near Campbell and Sunset, just behind some homes on West Edgewood. Police say Dahm was at a party at 216 West Edgewood before the shooting. Evidence from the alley behind the house and surveillance video have not led to any arrests. The husband of a former Springfield public school teacher has pleaded guilty to second-degree promoting prostitution. 43-year-old Mark Fiedler changed his plea in court and will be sentenced November 14th. His wife, Laura Fiedler, is to appear in court next Wednesday on a lesser charge of promoting prostitution in the third degree. And taxi drivers want more freedom to park in downtown Springfield. Urban District Alliance says taxi stands were removed because they weren't being used. Cab drivers say they make good money downtown, especially as the bars are closing. The problem is there's nowhere for them to park. For the Ozarks News Network, I'm Arlen Summers.
And join us for America's First News, Monday through Saturday at 6:05 a.m. on the Wall Street Journal this morning on AM 560 KWTO.
Hi, this is Brian from Allcom Technologies. Since 1974, our friends and customers have known us for great phone systems, fast, dependable services, and low prices. We also help many of them keep control of their valuable assets with surveillance cameras you can view from anywhere and access control systems that let you control door access to your business and let you know who comes and goes. Products, service, and low prices that secure your assets. We call it the Circle of Profit. Call Allcom at 881-8660 today.
Hey, have you heard about the Big Deal store?
No, what's the big deal?
Big Deals is a place where you can shop and buy gift certificates to local businesses at a discount. If you need entertainment, try Big Deals. Farm and garden supply, Big Deals. Want to get the family out to eat? Definitely Big Deals. How about lingerie or a taekwondo class for your kids?
I got it. Big deals.
Right. Go to newstalk560.com and click on Big Deals. Gift certificates to local businesses at 50% off retail. Hurry, the savings start now.
Live on Sunday night, it's Bill Cunningham.
Bill Cunningham here, the Great American. Every Sunday night live, a small band of renegades form around radio. From Maine to Hawaii, from Alaska to Florida, and all places in between, to talk about the issues of the day. This Sunday night live, we talk about what was and what lies ahead. Bill Cunningham, the Great American. I am a Great American, live with you every Sunday night.
Willie.
The Bill Cunningham Show, Sunday night at 9:05 on KWTO.
Mostly cloudy and cooler today with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. High of 72. Becoming mainly clear and cooler tonight with a low 51. Then a mostly sunny and nice day tomorrow. High 74 and a low 49. Sunday will be sunny and pleasant with a high 77. Monday mostly sunny. High again 77. I'm AccuWeather's Kevin Snyder.
Currently 67 degrees.
Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
And welcome back to Home Repairs and Solutions, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air. If you want to be a part of the show today, call 862-9977 or out of the area, 1-800-375-0056. Now here's Mary.
Welcome back, everyone. If you've just joined us, we are speaking today with Amanda Brown with 417 Pet Setting. If you have any questions for Amanda, Gary just gave out the phone number. If you have a strange or unusual pet and want to know if they can take care of it for you while you're out of the home, give us a call. She is the expert today. She can answer all those questions for you. So don't call me next week because I will not have her here next week and I will not know the answer to your questions. So you need to get those answered today. And once again, in case you missed it, those numbers are 862-9977 or 1-800-375-0056. And thank you so much for being with us today. You know, we have great listeners. I love our listeners, and they call us quite a bit. Sometimes we have them call us at the office. We'll have someone on the air, and they'll say, "Who was that person you had on? I need them now." You never know when someone's going to need you.
Awesome.
And so something that I would like to mention that I've mentioned it a few times, but if you are a listener of the show and you want to find someone that maybe has been on in the past, you don't remember who they were, you don't know how to get a hold of them, you can go to Spring Mountain Air's website, which is just www.springmountainair.com. There's a little button on there that says Mary's List. And you can look on Mary's List, and we record these shows, and then we upload them. We have a YouTube channel, and then we put them on our website, and then we also put them on Mary's List. So if you would like to revisit a show and re-listen to something, get some information you might have missed or want to hear again, you can do that. Or you can always give us a call at the office, and we're happy to give out the information of our guests we've had on the show. So there's lots of ways that they can find you after you're not here, but they can also just call you direct.
Absolutely. They can call the office. It's area code 417-827-7387. And of course, they can go to the website, which has all of the company information, which is www.417petsitting.com. There's even a little button in the top right-hand corner where they can get on our schedule or schedule a consultation and have us come out and love on their babies.
That was my next question. If someone is going to, like maybe someone has to leave quickly, maybe they haven't used your services before and they hear us today, maybe something comes up and they've got to leave town quickly for whatever. How fast can you get someone assigned to them to take care of that as far as scheduling goes?
Just on a regular basis, my goal in life is to make sure that it is 24 hours tops from the time they talk to me to the time a sitter is in touch with them to schedule a consultation. In emergency situations, generally speaking, someone can get to them. We can drop what we're doing and run out and grab a house key and meet the kids real quick. And one of the great things is that not only can we work them in quickly last minute for an emergency. But once they are on our radar, like once we've done the consultation, once we have a house key, once we have the sitting agreement signed, we keep that house key on file. It's labeled, one side of the key fob has the kids' names on it, and then the other side of the key fob has a random 6-digit number that's generated by the computer system. And so the key is kept safe and secure. It's labeled in a manner that no one would know that, it's your house and that
It doesn't have the address and your name on it.
No, it doesn't. It's got the dog's or the pet's names and the 6-digit code. And once they are in our system, they can call, text, email, whatever, and say, hey, I'm going into labor. Can you go take care of the kids? Or, hey, someone passed away. We've got to leave town. I had a client that was in a car accident and was in the hospital, and the nurse called and was like, so-and-so was in an accident and he won't shut up about his cat. Can you please go take care of it? And
see, I didn't even think about something like that. Yeah, something totally unexpected. Sure.
Yeah, when something, everyone always asks, well, why do you keep our house key on file? Well, clearly we're not going to use your house key if you're home. And not only is it convenient for you, because when something does happen, like you're in a car accident, heaven forbid, something happens to one of your kids, something happens out of state, you go into labor and have a baby, all these little random things that pop up in life, because life does happen. All you have to do is shoot us a text message or call or send an email, and we can take care of it. Not a problem. And
you don't have to, someone doesn't have to try and get you a key.
Exactly. I mean, we try to make the service as convenient as humanly possible and to make sure that the pets are always taken care of. That's our mission. We do what we do because we love the animals, and it's more of a how can we help you and how can we be of service to you? And that is one of the ways that we can be of service. Is I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a text message in the middle of the night, I'm taking so-and-so to the hospital, we're having our baby, or I've just gone into labor.
Sure.
And so I wake up at 5 and I look at my phone and I'm like, oh, yay, Lori's having a baby. And I go over and I play with the dogs, and, in 2 or 3 days I get a text message that says, thank you so much. We're supposed to be coming home from the hospital today. And life is normal again.
There we go. Yeah, you can't get much easier than that.
Yeah. And so we try to be there to help out whenever life happens. It's not just about going on vacation and leaving your fur kids at home while you're traveling. It's really about life's necessities.
That's true. They do have to be taken care of 24 hours a day. That's why I've always said, your pet is kind of like a child that never grows up and leaves home.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
You just, they have to be taken care of all the time. They don't ever get to the point where they can get their own food out of the box, or they can refill their water bowl, or they can, get their leash and open the door and go outside.
Exactly.
So, it's a commitment to, for however long that animal is with you.
Absolutely.
And so to have someone that can do that in case of an emergency situation has got to be a great help. Now, one of the things we haven't talked about today is the consultation. You mentioned that you have a consultation with your new clients.
Correct.
What does that involve, and how does all of that work?
Whoever is the sitter that is assigned to them will go out to the house to do a free consultation. We go out, meet the pet owners, have them show us where everything is in the house. This is the bed that you're going to sleep in if you're doing overnights. This is where the dog food's kept. This is where the cat food's kept. This is where the litter box is. Here's the leash. Here's the cat carrier. We'll go out to the barn and we'll go through all the feed and the vitamins and all that jazz. And so it really, not only does it give us a chance to meet the pet and to bond with the pet, and for the parents to say, hey, this is your sitter, be cool with her. But it also lets us physically see where all of the food and supplies are located, so that we know exactly what's going on. And a lot of times they will set the consultation up around feeding time so that we can actually watch them prepare. Like a lot of people do a raw diet, or a lot of people will do a special diet where they're mixing kibble with wet food and so on and so forth. And so it helps us to see how they proportion everything, where exactly the dog bowls are, which horse gets which buckets. And so it's just very helpful for us to physically see and do. I'm a kinesthetic learner, and so you can leave me a very detailed list, and that's fantastic, and I'm probably going to be able to follow it. But for me to actually physically see and do, it sticks with me a lot longer, especially whenever you've got someone that, they don't necessarily need a dog walk every single day, and so you're only there for a couple weeks out of the year. And so it just helps to keep all of that in your mind. And then once the consultation is done, we log into our computer system, which is a secure system, and put all of the information in there about the client. That way, if we lose that piece of paper that we took with us, or if we forget to pull it out of the file cabinet, then we can pull that up on our secure system and know exactly what information it is. Or if they call us on the fly, we can look it up and go, oh, okay, well, there's their garage code and there's their security code, so we can go out there right this very minute and not even have to worry about going back to the office to pull the key out of a file. So it comes in very, very handy.
That sounds like you've got a great system worked out. For sure.
I've tried.
Yeah, I think you've done very well with it. Very well.
And like all of the sitters can access the client list. And so while I was on vacation, I had a client that needed something. And so I just had to call and say, hey, Janine, I have this client that needs this. So I go in and click on that client and give her access to that client. And I'm like, hey, can you call so-and-so? You have access to their file now. And so all she had to do was pull up that file, and it was just a cat. So it's not like the cat was going to bite her at the door. And so she went over and took care of it, and it was totally fine.
There you go.
So,
but you'll also do things as far as like if they have an appointment and they need to go to the vet or the groomer or something like that, instead of the person having to take off work to do that, maybe you will do that as well.
Yep, we can do pet taxis to and from the vet, to and from the groomer, to and from photo shoots. I mean, we can.
That's interesting. Photo shoots. A lot of people.
You would be surprised at how. Yes.
Really?
April over at U-Turn Studios, she specializes in pet photography.
Really?
And oh yeah, there's a lot of photographers in town that do pet photos, and you would be surprised. I'm in the business, so I get a lot of Christmas cards where their pets are on them.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah,
I'm sure.
The things that people do with their pets, you would be absolutely amazed. Like, it's just they're one of the family, especially empty nesters or single men and women. Mm-hmm. Those dogs are their pets. I mean, that's their kid. That's the only thing that they have, and so they are spoiled rotten.
Yeah, Tucker used to have a few rules and things we tried to do, but they kind of, I don't know what happened to the rules. He was spoiled, but now he's rotten.
Yeah. We try to, like, when clients say these are the rules and these are the commands that we're working on and this is something that they have a bad habit of doing, we try to work on those and we try to stay within the confines.
Sure.
That's part of what we go over in the consultation. Any quirks.
What do you allow them to do or not to do?
Yeah. Are they allowed on the furniture? Are they allowed to sleep in the bed? We just want them to be comfortable and happy, but at the same time, we don't want to undermine all of the training that the parents have done.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So,
because that can happen pretty quickly.
Oh, absolutely.
That can unravel pretty quickly. So, yeah, it's great that you take that much attention to detail on those type of things. What is the most unusual pet you've had to take care of? Have you had any like really strange or unusual pets?
Not really. I've got a professor who's got a couple lab rats that are at the house.
I'm sorry. I don't see that being a pet.
Oh, they're so sweet, though. They're hairless rats that have come home from the lab. And
so they're ugly, too.
Oh, but they're sweet. And, like, when you hand them the trail mix, like, when you put the trail mix in their little bowl, they make this little squeaky noise, and you can just tell that they're happy.
Okay.
I was a little weirded out at first. But they're hairless, so they're not going to have, like, mites and fleas. And,
That's true.
They live in a cage in the house. I mean...
Yeah. Interesting.
They're no longer being tested on, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Like, they're just happy fat rats that want to live out their life. And
there you go.
I have a client with a tarantula. I've got a client with a squirrel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A squirrel in the house?
He sort of kind of ran over the squirrel with his lawnmower. So now it hangs out in a bird cage.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't think it was going to live, and it did.
Well, there you go. All right. Okay.
But yeah, no, nothing really unusual. They passed some legislation so people can have chickens within city limits now.
Yes. Are there a lot of people in the city limits that have chickens?
More and more.
Really?
There's a lot of people that are going towards being self-sustaining.
Yes.
So there's a lot more gardens. There's a lot more chickens. Chickens are actually kind of cool. They're not as weird as I thought. They all have their own little personalities and their own little quirks. They're actually very sweet. You just kind of, push down their feathers and scoop them out of their nesting boxes and gather the eggs and throw some scratch out for them, make sure they've got water. They're pretty happy little birds.
There's nothing better than fresh eggs.
That is so true.
That is, I love fresh eggs.
Mm-hmm. I haven't had to buy eggs in a long time.
I'll bet you haven't either. Yeah, I'll bet.
I have so many clients with chickens.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's nothing better than a farm fresh egg.
I agree.
When you have to move the chicken to make breakfast.
Yeah. It's all good.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is, yeah. I agree. When I was growing up, my grandparents, I remember my grandma actually butchering a chicken for Sunday dinner, and helping her butcher the chicken and all that. So, yeah, there's something about just eating things, that are fresh and the way I think we were supposed to.
Oh, I agree.
But what the strangest pet that we ever had, and they're not legal to have them in Missouri, but when we lived in Arkansas, we had a pet skunk. And they are really neat pets. The one we had, we got him from, he was a male, and we bought him from a licensed breeder.
Right.
And he was like the 8th generation or something. So they'd been, raised like that, domesticated for quite some time. And the interesting thing to me about him is when you, and there were vets and everything in Arkansas that took care of them and all that, but they have to have the same shots and medications that both dogs and cats do. So you have to give them dual stuff.
I did not know that.
So yeah, they're not the cheapest pet to own, but he was a lot of fun.
Are there really ever any cheap pets? I mean,
no. like there are never cheap kids. It's the same thing. But he was really, really an interesting pet. And the funniest thing I remember about him is when we brought him home, and he was really small. He would fit in the palm of my hand.
Yeah.
And we put him on the floor, and he just ran around and played and played and played and played. And then all of a sudden, he just flopped over. We thought he died. I was like, oh my goodness, what happened? No, that's what they do when they're little, and they play until they're exhausted, and they just fall over asleep. It was the funniest thing, yeah.
I would have lost it.
Yeah, we about did. I was like, what did we do? And the kids were like, Mommy, and I'm like, I don't know. And
Poor thing.
But yeah, so we picked him up, and he was breathing, and we're like, okay, that was just really strange. I did not know that was going to happen.
Huh.
So, maybe if you're going to get a strange or unusual pet, maybe you should not do what we did. Maybe you should learn a little more about them than we did.
No. Not if you're going to get a strange or unusual pet. If you are going to get a pet.
That's
even
true.
Different breeds of dogs.
That's true.
Because I can't tell you how many times I've been in a consultation and the client's like, well, one of the quirks that my dog has is this, this, and this. And I'm like, that's normal to that breed. It's that they're supposed to do that.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
And so while I appreciate that people want to have pets in their home, please, please, please research them and learn a little bit about the breed before you take it in.
That's true. And, we did that with dogs, but we didn't do that so much with our unusual type of pets. I don't know why we didn't, but... Well, we have a caller. We have Sharon from Stone County on the line. Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning. First, I'd like to ask the name of your guest company again.
417 Pet Sitting.
417 Pet Sitting.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I have one more question.
Okay.
I understand that you are doing pets. Do you also say, like, if you have a farmer who something disastrous happens and they need someone to come out and take care of their cattle or take care of their dairy cows or something like that, do you do anything like that?
We can. Clearly, if it's a farming operation, we will tell you if it's beyond our means. But I've got a couple other girls on staff that will take care of, cows and horses and chickens and sheep. And along with, I can do some of that. So yeah, if it takes more than one of us to come out, if you've got something that just goes awry and you need a couple of us to come out and take care of the farm, we can do that. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you've got 100 head of cattle that need to be milked on a daily basis, it's going to take a little bit more manpower. But if it's just a small farm, we can definitely take care of that. I have several clients that have full functioning farms that are mostly self-sustaining, but they provide to the farmers markets and stuff. So yeah, so long as it's not, like Highland Dairy or something of that capacity.
I have 1,000 cows that I need to have milk twice a day. Oh my goodness.
That's when I would say, I'm sorry, that is beyond my capabilities.
Yeah.
Let me help you find someone that can.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's really nice to know because, and I think you provide a really great service.
Thank you.
Because I don't know how many times I've had people say, we're going away on vacation and we don't want to leave our dogs at the kennel because, we don't want them caged up for that long.
Right.
And so now I've got somebody I can refer them to.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And like I said, we will be perfectly upfront and say, I'm sorry, this is beyond our capabilities. But if it's a smaller farming operation, we can definitely take care of it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You know, maybe we should give out your information again. I have this thing about, I get so excited about talking about what you do. I forget to let you tell people how to get a hold of you and the name of your business and all that. So let's do that again. We've got about 3 minutes left of the show. So before we have to sign off, tell them who you are, the name of your company, and how they can call you.
It is 417 Pet Sitting. The phone number is area code 417-827-7387. And the website is just www.417petsitting.com. And we just want to help them and take care of their fur kids.
We have another caller. We just have a couple minutes left to the show, but we have Gloria from Springfield with us. Good morning, Gloria.
Hi, Mary. I won't talk long.
That's okay. Go ahead.
You talk about the animals and everything.
Uh-huh.
I grew up on a farm.
Yes.
We had a couple dogs, and of course they'd sleep out in the barns. They weren't without protection. My dad, during the winter, would make them a warm meal.
Aww.
He'd cook a meal for them. And anyway, but I want to say something. When you grew up on a farm and you have, well, we used to butcher once a year, and then I milked the cow. So we had cow's milk, we had eggs and all that stuff. That is the best way to live. Because I'll tell you what, I'm going to be 75, and you know, I had my latest blood test done, and my happy cholesterol, which I think the range is 40 to 60. Mine's 107.
Oh, wow.
I know, and I'm going to be 75. Now, I am a diabetic, but my sugar's in control and everything else.
Good for
and
you.
in fact, they took me off one of my pills. But, you know, you can't eat food like that but now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't eat my mom would go out and, I hated that, though. She'd kill the chickens, or my dad would kill the chicken, take it into her to clean. Nothing stinks more than defeathering the chicken in hot weather. But anyway, okay. Well, I know what you're talking about,
Thank you, Gloria.
Thanks for calling,
bye-bye.
Gloria.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We had some more stuff we were going to get to. Tell me what's going on. You have a couple things going on here.
The Alzheimer's Walk is tomorrow morning from 8 to 12 at Jordan Valley Park, and Carlos is the spokes dog for the Alzheimer's Walk this year. So come out and show your support for Alzheimer's, even if it's not financially, but come out and show some love, 8 to 12 at Jordan Valley Park. And then also on the 19th of October from 12 to 5 is Pets and Pumpkins on Commercial Street. We are the stage sponsor for that. Bring out your pets, put them in a costume, come have some family fun, eat some great vendor food, and just enjoy yourself. And if you have time, we would love for you to vote for 417 in the Best of 417 magazine.
There you go. Well, we're out of time, folks. Thank you so much for being with us. This has been Home Repairs and Solutions. We're brought to you every Friday morning from 10 to 11 right here on KWTO 560. Have a great weekend.
Well, your faucets, they all drip, and your sinks are all clogged up too. Well, there's no need to worry. I'll tell you what you can do. Just call Home Repairs and Solutions.